Hi and welcome to the NCV Mathematics Level 2. Today's topic is algebraic equations. First of all, we are looking at linear equations. Now, linear equations are equations that have only to the power 1, x to the power 1, and no square roots. In any equation, we must understand it works as a balance. We've got a left-hand side of the balance equal to the right-hand side of the balance. And there's a golden rule that we must apply here. What you do on the left hand side, you must do on the right hand side. If you have to add something on the left hand side, it will make it imbalanced on the right hand side, so you have to add that same on the right hand side. This is called the golden rule, and we will apply this rule throughout solving linear equations. Now, in my first problem, x plus 3 equals to 27, my left hand side is x plus 3, and it is equal to my right hand side, which is 27. So when we try to solve this, we must try to make x stand alone. So that means that that plus 3 on the left hand side must be removed. Mathematically, if we want to remove that x plus 3, we have to subtract it by 3, because 3 minus 3 will give me 0, and so the 3 will disappear. So that is done on the left hand side. But again, the golden rule now, what we do on the left hand side, we must also do on the right hand side. So if we must subtract with 3 on the left hand side, we must subtract with 3 on the right hand side. So that will give me the x alone on the left hand side. 27 minus 3 will give me 24, and we have solved for x. In my next problem, I've got a fraction 2x over 3 minus 6. So the problem here to get x to stand alone is there's a 3 denominator we have to get rid of, and if we want to get rid of that 3, it is divided, we must multiply by 3, because 3 and 3 will cancel out, and that will remove the 3. But again, the golden rule, if I multiply by 3 on the left hand side, I must multiply by 3 over 1 on the right hand side. So by doing that, 3 and 3 will cancel there, we were left with a 2x, and 3 times 6 over there will give me on the right hand side a 18. We are left with 2x minus 18. There's still a 2 now we have to get rid of, and for us to get rid of 2, we divide by 2 on the left hand side. So what we do on the left hand side, we must do on the right hand side. Divide by 2 on the left hand side will give me a x, and divide by 2 on the right hand side will give me a 9. 18 divided by 2, and that solves for x. In my next problem, I've got x over 3 once again minus 16. We are now going to show another method that is maybe quicker to solve for x than every time having to do on the left hand side and right hand side. What we're saying now is to isolate x, we need to move that which does not belong to x to the right hand side. But the very important rule to remember, and it's in red here, change the calculation. So that means this 16, we have to get rid of that 16 first, and by moving it to the right hand side, we are going to change the calculation from a minus 16 to a plus 16. Doing that will give me then 2 plus 16. The next step would be to get rid of the 3 now. 2 plus 16 will give me 18. Again here, isolating x, we've got divided by 3. So if you want to move this 3, we have to now do the opposite calculation, which is divide, opposite is multiplication. So it's going to be the x, remove the 3, take it over, it will be multiplied by 18, and that will give me x is equal to 54. So this seems to be a quicker way of solving x, but in actual fact the first step was the mathematical way. So just remember, when you move things from the left hand side to the right hand side, or from the right hand side to the left hand side, please do change the calculation. In our next problem, we've got 3x minus 1 over 4 plus 5. First problem is the 5. Move the 5. So again, it will become a 0 minus 5. Will give you a minus 5. Next one is the 4. Move the 4. It's divided. So when we move it, it must be multiplied. So minus 4 multiplied by 4. Minus 5 multiplied by 4 gives me a minus 20. The next is the minus 1. So the minus 1 has to be moved. So it's 20. And remove the 1 will give me a plus 1. So minus 20 and plus 1. Next will be to remove is the 3. The 3 is multiplied, so it has to be divided. And it's minus 21 will give me minus 9. Minus 20 plus 1 gives me minus 9. Divide by 3, and that will be my answer. In my next problem, we've got x plus 2 over 3 plus x over 4 equals to 3. Now the problem here is we've got two denominators, two fractions, and to solve that we need to multiply by what is called the LCM, the lowest common multiple, to get rid of these two fractions. And to find the lowest common multiple, we need to multiply these two denominators, and if they are not even numbers, like in this case, and that answer will be my common denominator. So 3 times 4 will be 12, right? So the lowest common multiple for 3 and 4 is 12, a number that both can divide. So what we do here is we are going to multiply by 12, x plus 2 over 3, and x over 4 by 12. But don't forget, what we do on the left hand side, we must do on the right hand side. So 3 must also multiply by 12. So that will give me 3 divides into 12 4 times. That 4 will multiply with the x plus 2. 4 divides into himself and into 12 3 times. That 3 must multiply with the x over there, and on the other side we've got 3 times 12. So 4 times x plus 2 comes from this 4 multiplying with this x plus 2, because the 3 is now gone, and plus 3 times x comes from this 4 divided into 12, and 3 times x will give me 3x, and on the right hand side 3 times 12 will give me 36. I can just simplify this by saying 4 times x is 4x, 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3x equals to 36, removing the bracket over here. On the left hand side we've got now 4 plus 3 will give me 7x. Again, this 8 we can now remove. Remember, taking it over, it becomes a minus 8. We're left with the x over there. This product gives me a 28, 36 minus 8, and the 7 moved over will be divided, because it's multiplied by 7, move over becomes divide by 7. I think that answer will give me finally x is equal to 4.